It's a dark, rainy day in Whiterun, and as we walk through the city streets, there's only one thing on our mind. Hopping up onto a bar stool and pounding down a couple of cold ones. After walking into the Bannered Mare, we find a man named Sam standing at the bar.
If you're looking for a challenge, you've come to the right place.
A drinking contest? Oh, you're going down, buddy.
Ha! We'll see about that. This is a special brew. Very strong stuff. Let's get started. I'll start round one. Down the hatch. Your turn.
All right, here we go. Oh, gosh, what is that? Rubbing alcohol?
One down, my friend, one down. And another one for me. And how about you?
Number 2. This is child's play.
So says you. I think I've hit my limit on these things. Tell you what, one more and you win the contest.
One more. No problem.
Wow, you've really done it. The staff is yours.
Fash grape.
You know, you're a fun person to drink with. I know this great little place where the wine flows like water. We should head there. Hey, you don't look so good.
Wake up. That's right. It's time to wake up, you drunken blasphemer.
Oh, my head.
Yes, your head hurts and you don't remember where you are. I'm guessing you also don't remember coming in here and blathering incoherently about marriage or a goat. Which means you don't remember losing your temper and throwing trash all over the temple.
I'm sorry, lady. It's just, I don't even remember how I got here.
Oh, I'd love to help you figure it out, but I'm so busy cleaning up the mess you made of our temple. Now, if you were to help tidy up and perhaps apologize afterwards, I might be able to help you.
We then have to pick up a number of random objects spread out across the room, including some alto wine, a giant's toe, not sure why that's in here, and a note titled Repair Supplies, which reads, to repair the staff, I need the following. Giant's toe, 2 alto wine. Sam. I'm done, Senna. Do you have a bathroom in this place? I'm just curious.
I suppose that'll do. DeBella teaches us forgiveness, after all. Even for a drunk like you.
So do you remember anything I said when I got here?
You were ranting when you got here, but most of it was slurred. You did say something about Rorikstead. Maybe you should take a look there.
So many questions. What happened last night? Where is Sam? And what is this staff that we're trying to fix? Hopefully we'll be able to get some answers. Stepping outside, we see that we're in the city of Markarth. How on earth did we get here from Whiterun? That's a pretty far walk. And dangerous, especially if you're inebriated. Senna told us that we drunkenly mentioned something about Rorikstead, which I unfortunately hadn't discovered yet in my playthrough. Instead, I decided to fast travel just northwest to Moldering Ruins. Immediately when we arrive, we get attacked by a gang of vampires. Ugh, I can't fight right now, I'm gonna be sick.
Victory is yours! I submit!
No!
After taking out a death hound, I managed to escape the vampires and then continued on to the east. Once we arrive in Rorikstead, the objective marker tells us to enter into the Cowflop farmhouse. However, because the front door was locked, I decided to wait until morning to see if it would eventually be accessible. Strangely enough, it wasn't, and with no other way to continue the quest, I was eventually forced to pick the lock. Inside, we find a man named Ennis.
You've got a lot of nerve showing yourself in this town again. What do you have to say for yourself?
Oh, please don't talk so loud. I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about.
Is that so? Does the name Gleda ring a bell? The star beauty of my farm? Kidnapped by a drunk lout and sold to a giant? You better remember her right fast before I call the guards and have you hauled away.
Wow, that does sound pretty bad.
You're damn right it does. I'll never breed another prize-winning goat like Gleda. And don't you think of coming back to Rorikstead until you get her back from that giant.
So apparently, in our intoxicated state, We stole a goat and sold it to a giant, but for what? And furthermore, we still have no idea where Sam is. I hope he's okay. We find Ennis's goat not far from Rorikstead in an open field, but in my playthrough, there weren't any giants in the area. This was strange to me because I read online that there was a giant that we were supposed to interact with in this quest, but the only thing that's here is Gleda the goat. Perhaps this was a glitch in the game, or maybe the giant just walked away. Let me know in the comments below whether or not you encountered the same problem in your playthrough. After leading Gleda the goat back to Ennis, we can ask him if he will help us retrace our steps.
Gleda! And not a scratch on her. Happy day! I still can't figure out why you stole her. You left a note explaining it, but half of it was gibberish and the rest had mead spilled on it. Only bit I could make out was repaying Ysolda in Whiterun, and even that's mostly scribbles. Guess you could try there.
Ysolda and Whiterun? What on earth did she have to do with any of this? Let's fast travel to Whiterun and find out.
So, you're finally back. Look, I've been patient, but you still owe me.
Of course I do. Alright, how much do I owe you?
It's not about the money, really. I wouldn't have given you the wedding ring on credit if you weren't so obviously in love. But if there isn't going to be a wedding, the least you can do is give the ring back. That was one of my best pieces.
A wedding ring? Oh, no. Did we get married last night? Ysolda, you have to help me out here. Do you have any idea what I did with this ring of yours?
You went right out to give it to your fiancé. Don't you even remember where you left her? And after you told me that sweet story of how you met in Witchmist Grove, I can see why she left you.
You mentioned a story about my, fiancé. What was that story exactly?
How could you forget? It was the sweetest story I'd ever heard. You met at the full moon, under the biggest tree in Witchmist Grove, surrounded by fireflies. It was straight out of a storybook.
There are now a few different dialogue options for us to choose from. We can either intimidate Ysolda by saying, I don't care about the ring, tell me what else I said. Persuade her by saying, I just need to get to the wedding, please. Or pay her off with 2,000 gold. I was personally interested in seeing where this ring was though, so I decided to go out and try to find it. Looking at the map, we noticed that, unsurprisingly, the wedding ring is located at Witchmist Grove. For once, this was a location that I had previously discovered, so I was able to fast travel directly there. Once we arrive, we come to a small shack in the middle of the woods, surrounded by wooden stakes. On the steps leading up to the shack is a hagraven named Mora.
Darling, I've been waiting for you to return, to consummate our love.
Oh God. I think I just threw up a little in my mouth. I was actually hoping to just get the ring back, Mora.
What? You want it for that hussy Esmeralda with the dark feathers, don't you? I won't let her have you.
Well, wait, Mora. Can we just talk about this? I mean, it's not you, it's me. It's just, you know, people have different tastes, and you obviously have so much going for you. You really deserve better than me, honestly. Alright, you've left me no choice.
Yo!
On Mora's body, we find the wedding ring. We can now return to Ysolda, who we find in the marketplace in the center of Whiterun.
Once I've made enough money trading with the Khajiit caravans, I'm going to buy the Bannered Mare from Hulda.
Here's the ring, Ysolda.
Excellent. Sorry it didn't work out. I know how excited you were for the wedding. You kept saying it would be a huge ceremony at Morvunskar. You said you even had some magic staff that would handle all of the guests.
Well, it looks like we're going to Morvunskar then. Maybe Sam will be here waiting for us, along with this mysterious staff that we still know nothing about. To get to Morvunskar, I decided to fast travel just northwest to Anga's Mill, and then continue on foot. The journey from Anga's Mill to Morvunskar proved to be a treacherous one. In my playthrough, I got attacked by a dark elf, and later, an assassin, both of which were no match for my legendary Dragonbone sword. Eventually, we come to a path that slopes upwards to the north. This leads us right to the entrance of Morvunskar, a fort that is now inhabited by dozens of conjurers and mages. Just as we begin making our way into the fort, we accidentally set off a fire trap and are forced to retreat. Suddenly, we get attacked.
At your best, man.
Now that we've successfully made it past the fire trap and killed all of the hostiles, we can have a look around. Surprisingly though, there is absolutely nothing on the outside of this fort as far as loot is concerned. I looked in every corner and crevice, but time and time again found myself coming up empty. Disappointed, we can head into the fort through a set of double doors to the west. Once inside Morvunskar, we notice that there's a few different ways for us to go. There's a room straight ahead to the west, a set of stairs leading down to a door, again to the west, a second door along the northern wall, and a room to the northwest. But before we have a chance to decide, we hear voices.
Use magic, not weapons. I swear, they're making me do this for a laugh. At least I'm not dealing with the prisoners down below.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about what goes on down there.
I bet Naris gets a kick out of it. Nasty fella he is.
You'd better quiet down before you end up there. Then I'd have to work the forge.
Heading into the room to the northwest, we come face to face with not one, but two conjurers.
Never should have come here. Over here.
Our compass is telling us that there are more enemies nearby. Maybe they're through this door along the northern wall? Nope, it's barred shut. Well, it doesn't look like they're getting closer to our location, so let's use this time to check out that room to the northwest. Here we find a shelf with several bottles of wine, a table with some iron and silver ore, and 3 iron ingots, and a blacksmith forge. Heading back into the main chamber and then stepping into the room due west of the front entrance, we draw our sword ready for a fight, but there's no one here. Just some cabbages, a tanning rack, and other miscellaneous items. That means that the only way forward is down the stairs and through the door to the west. And what's this? The door has been opened. Looks like whoever has been showing up on our compass is close by. Traveling south down a long, dimly lit hallway and then heading east, we eventually come to a small side table with a few pieces of gold and a coin purse. Up ahead is a giant chamber, inside of which are more conjurers for us to fight.
Yo!
Looking around, this appears to have been some kind of common room. We find several tables set up on elevated platforms, with animal skins hanging up on the walls behind them. On a shelf in between 2 of the tables, we find a potion of plentiful healing. And heading north, we again see that we have a few different paths for us to choose. We can turn east past a spiked wall trap, or we can turn east or west at the end of the hallway, both of which lead to bedrooms. In the bedroom to the west, we find an apprentice storm mage.
Do your...
Before we have a chance to explore, 2 conjurers appear in the main hallway and attack.
Yo!
Heading east past the spiked wall trap, we can turn north and then pick a novice-locked door along the eastern wall. There are some stairs for us to climb down, at the bottom of which is a conjurer named Naris the Wicked. After looting his body and a nearby chest for some gold and a potion, we make a shocking discovery. Peering into a wooden gated cell, we can see not 1, not 2, but 6 corpses sitting in a pile of ash, their flesh burnt clean off their bodies. Cages hang from the ceiling. Blood is smeared across every single wall that surrounds them. Now we know why they call him Naris the Wicked. This man was obviously disturbed. One might even say evil. At least we were able to bring him to justice. After heading back up the stairs, we can enter a room to our left and loot a potion of enduring invisibility on top of a nightstand and some gold inside of it. And in the southwest corner of the room, we find some leather strips on another nightstand. Heading back out and traveling west, we can loot a coin purse on top of a table smeared with blood, perhaps left over from one of Naris the Wicked's unspeakable acts of torture. The hallway continues to the west, and after heading up some stairs to the south, we come to a door that's been barred shut. This is the door that we couldn't pass through in that first room we found ourselves in immediately after entering the fort, meaning that we've just done one big loop. Retracing our steps back down to that large room with the animal furs, we can enter a tiny room to the east. Here we find an adept-locked strongbox containing a flawless ruby and a novice-locked chest with some gold, a soul gem, and a few potions. Heading back out into the chamber, we can loop around and climb up some stairs to the north, when suddenly a giant glowing orb appears before our very eyes. The objective marker is telling us to walk into it, so alright, I guess we'll just see what this thing does. It appears as though the orb we walked into was a teleporter. The only question now is, where are we? If we follow the path through the mist, we eventually come to a dining room table? That's odd, I've never seen anything like this before. Next to the table is Sam.
You're here. I was beginning to think you might not make it.
Yeah, it was quite a trip. Where are we exactly?
I thought you might not remember your first trip here. You had a big night. I think you've definitely earned the staff.
Oh, right, the staff. I have all the things needed to repair it.
Oh, the Hagraven feather and so on. You can throw all those out. You see, I really just needed something to encourage you to go out into the world and spread merriment. And you did just that. I haven't been so entertained in at least 100 years.
What? Who are you?
I am Sanguine, Daedric Prince of Debauchery. I know. How could I lie to you? Well, how could I trust you until we've shared a few drinks? But it wasn't long before I realized you'd make a more interesting bearer of my not-quite-holy staff than this waste of flesh.
Okay, so you use me as a pawn for your own entertainment. That part I understand. What I don't understand is, why me?
Let's be honest here. I don't always think my decisions through, but you're going places. Maybe a little influence from your old Uncle Sanguine could help adjust your course a bit.
Oh, well, thanks, I guess.
My pleasure, but I think it's time for you to go. No fun keeping you locked up in here with the staff.
And just like that, we're teleported back to the Bannered Mare as if nothing ever happened. For completing the quest, we are rewarded with the Sanguine Rose, which incidentally isn't a rose at all. Rather, it's an enchanted staff that's capable of summoning a Dremora for 60 seconds, which I quickly learned is extremely helpful in the middle of a battle. We had quite the night, ladies and gentlemen, so let's see if we can piece it all together. The booze-filled extravaganza started with who we thought was Sam at the Bannered Mare. Not long after blacking out, we stumbled north to Witchmist Grove, where we apparently grew quite fond of a hagraven named Mora. Not wanting to waste another second apart, we made our way back to Whiterun, found Ysolda, and told her all about how we were going to get married to the love of our life. Touched by our romantic tale, Ysolda allowed us to purchase a wedding ring on credit. Then, in our intoxicated state, we made our way from Whiterun to Rorikstead, at which point we got the bright idea to steal a prize-winning goat and sell it to a giant so that we could pay Ysolda back for the ring. From there, we continued west to Markarth until we collapsed, only to be woken up by Senna the next morning. Frankly, I can't believe we did that much walking while under the influence, but I'd love to know what you think, folks. Did you have just as much fun piecing the night together as I did? Were you surprised when you found out that Sam was really the Daedric Prince of Debauchery? Or did you see it coming? And what do you think of the Sanguine Rose? Let me know in the comments below. I post new videos on Skyrim every single Thursday and Friday, folks, so be sure to subscribe to my channel to stay up to date on all of my latest content. If you're an entertainment junkie like I am, then you might like my brand new podcast, Pass the Veal, where we discuss everything from upcoming video games to movies and television shows. I post video versions of the podcast right here on my YouTube channel every Sunday night at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, so be sure to check that out as well. But that's all for now, folks. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.
No more! I yield! I yield! Mercy!